Boy, I can tell bad times are right around the corner again. I can tell by all the emails I'm getting talking about I can't get a break in life. I hate that damn mentality, but I can't get a break. You aren't given any breaks in life. You make them for yourself. We are all being tested in life. While my test is different than yours, you will be tested. And how you face that test and how you overcome that test determines the rest of your life. The one mentality that you must have in life is that regardless of what's in front of you, you still must grind. I'll never be in the Olympics. I'll never be a professional athlete, but still I grind. I fail at most things I do, but still I grind. I don't want to do half the shit I do, but still I grind. And that one day, you see me down a dark alley, run at 1 o'clock in the morning, know one thing. I was grinding. Stay hard.
Like, I didn't care about losing weight. I didn't care about being the fastest person. I wasn't making the Olympics. I wasn't going to pros. I could barely read and write when I was in a junior in high school. I wasn't going anywhere. I saw working out as a way for me to build calluses on my mind. I had to callous over the victim's mentality. So I watched these movies. I talked about Rocky last time I was on here. I always equated training to mental toughening. Like, it always looked brutal. People waking up early and doing all these things, and it looked horrible. I was like, wow, man, I gotta start doing that. Not to get better, bigger, and stronger, but that is what's gonna build me. That looks uncomfortable. That looks brutal. And getting up early, I don't wanna do that. So I made this long list of things I don't wanna do. And through that, I found myself. I started, I'm like, you guys aren't doing this shit in high school. You guys aren't getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning, running over here in this golf course. So I started seeing myself very differently than the average human being. I was like, hang on a second. I have something they don't have. And that's when I started to develop these things through working out. It was this great, never-ending work ethic. And through work ethic, I developed self-esteem. Honestly, my biggest fear to this day is, and I say a lot, and it's going to heaven and being judged by God. And I believe that God knows everything about you. From the time you're born, when you're gonna be born, when you're gonna die, when you're gonna graduate, buzz, whatever's gonna happen to you, he knows all this shit. Some people never do what God knows you're capable of doing because we have choices. My biggest fear in life was to get to heaven and God look at me as I'm being judged, and I was some fat 300-pound guy like I used to be that still sprayed for cockroaches. That's okay. It's what you want to do. I didn't want to do that, and I made $1,000, a month. And I got to heaven, and God laid out this chart in front of me, and He said, "Hey, man, look at this chart." And it had my name on top and all this amazing shit. And I'm like, "That's not me, man." He goes, "That's who you were supposed to be." My biggest fear in life is that one day, if I ever get judged by something, someone, some energy force, that I go up there and I failed the mission. Whatever force up there thought I was supposed to be some badass, and I went up there underachieved. I want that force up there that knows everything to be writing as I'm living and saying, I had no fucking idea he even had this in him. Mm. So I want to just be the best I fucking can. And a lot of people say that. I truly mean that. I still have to learn me. I still feel there's times where, as a human being, I'm a human, and you still fall back in these ruts of life, where you think that you had a permanent fix. Cause I've done all that. Nothing's a permanent fix, man. That's why I grind every day, because nothing is permanent. I watched a lot of movies, and I was really big into visualization. And I always equated working out to struggle. And I struggled my whole life, but I ran from it. So I started realizing, man, I gotta start facing the struggle, and I gotta be mentally strong for the struggle. So that's why I started coming up with I'm training for life. Mentally, I'm training for life. I'm not training for to lift 400 pounds. And I found out on my own pretty much, is that through discipline, through self-discipline, through repetition, through tons of repetition of the same thing that you don't want to do, and that's the key thing. Through repetition of things you don't want to do, you develop mental, like an armor for your mind. You start to armor your mind, because your mind's like, okay, we suffer every day. It's what we do. We do stuff that sucks every day. So then when the suck stuff comes, you're ready for it. And that's how I started coming up. You know, I just started being very uncomfortable. And now it's like just a way of life.
The mind's a medieval motherfucker. It's constantly fighting against you. It's the only thing in the history of the fucking world that shows up on time every time. It has a tactical advantage over you. It knows your fears. It knows your insecurities. It knows everything about you. It might be the only thing in that world that knows all about you. You gotta know about it. It's gonna show up when you don't wanna show up. It's gonna show up at the worst time possible when you wanna be successful. It's gonna say, take the easy road. Take the easy way out. You gotta learn your brain like your brain has learned you.
If you're willing to suffer and go back in the grind, that internal dialogue you have with yourself when you're in misery and you're uncomfortable, it's a real, scary, unfiltered, no lying dialogue between you and yourself. And people know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about when you're in a bad spot in life and your mind is saying all kind of shit. That's who you really are. That's the real you. No Rocky Balboa moments going on up there. You're like, hey, you know, it's round 14. Let's come on, we got this. No, it's like, fuck this. I'm out of here, man. This is crazy. That's where the growth happens. When you're able to stay in that moment and talk yourself back into the suck of wherever you're going through, and you start stripping those layers away, but as you're stripping those layers away, you're building calluses over top of shit in your mind. That's where the growth starts to happen, is when you have to force yourself to stay in it. You can't leave it. And it was like 3 days later, I'm in a 100-mile race, no train at all. And when you do that, it is stupid. But what it does, if you're not gonna quit it, like you just talked about, it breaks you down to nothing. You are suffering so badly, mentally and physically, that all of these demons are coming up. And you're trying to find answers, and you're trying to find answers. It was like living 19 hours. It's like 5 years I put into 19 hours of highs and lows and pitfalls and seeing the sun come up. And it was like, my God, I lived 5 years in 19 hours. It was unbelievable. It was unbelievable.
Weak people hate strong minds. And there's an infestation of weak people in this fucking world. See, you're born with one mouth for a reason. To speak what you believe in. Speak your thoughts. Speak your truth. But what happens is the goal of weak people is to silence you. So what they do to you is to isolate you. The more they isolate you, the more you want to put a fucking you want to sew up your mouth right in the middle. You start speaking out both sides of your mouth. You don't stand for shit. And eventually what happens is, they make you so fucking soft, you become a fucking bobblehead. You start to shaking your head yes, for whatever they fucking want. Speak your truth. Don't be a fucking bobblehead. Stay hard.
All the knowledge for myself comes from that place. It doesn't come from the place of success. My knowledge does not come from the place of, because for me, like, I built Goggins from the ground up. I was born David Goggins. David Goggins wasn't good enough. He was a scared, bullied, abused kid who struggled in life. And that kid, whenever something got tough, no matter how hard I trained, no matter how ready I was, whenever something got tough for me, David Goggins, the real David Goggins, would come out and he would quit. So I realized this over a period of time. So I had to build Goggins. And in that process, I had to go back to that mental lab. And that mental lab is at scratch. That mental lab isn't that trained humility. And so that's where I get better. I get better when I'm digging holes in the ground, when I'm waking up early knowing I don't have to do these things. That's where I get better. So people think anger was my fucking fuel. Just so, yeah, anger can be a fuel. Anger got me to look into things to become better. I want to show him. But I can tell you one thing, when you're suffering and you're fucking at the wit's end and you want to fucking quit, that anger is gone, brother.
Well, it's also not a sustainable fuel source.
Your mind is thinking about, let's get the fuck out of here. So I realized this anger ain't shit. I didn't think about my dad beat me up. I didn't think about any of that shit. I thought about, man, this fucking water is cold as balls, man. I get the fuck out of here. So I realized anger was no fuel for me. It may have got me to say, I'm gonna be somebody. Anger got me caught up in some serious ego trips, man.